And we on. All right. All right. Welcome back, everyone. It's Coach K, Athena Education. We have Ian Friend. He's back, the friend that you know. Okay. We have Ferrum Network right behind me. You can get it on Blockfolio. All right. And we're going to talk today about, what happened with the ICO, some of the cool things that happened, and they made some changes on the fly because of, things kind of, there was little glitches here and there, and they made some decisions on the way, and it was kind of fun. The gas wars brought us back to 2017 feelings. What updates are coming from Ferrum Network? What they're doing on the roadmap in terms of like the short, medium, and long term, and then what is this whole community social mining stuff about? So, welcome, Ian. How are you doing today?
Hey, Joel. Great to be here.
Awesome, man. So I guess we'll just jump right in it because I know everyone's here to watch and find out, what happened with the ICO. Not saying it's a bad thing, but what's been happening with the ICO, your reflections, things that, what were your thoughts and your feelings on how the ICO went? What were the challenges that you guys had? And so I'll let you kind of take over from there.
Yeah, great. So I think, look, every time you have a major event in a company, it's an opportunity to sort of rise to that challenge. There's going to be difficulties and opportunities along the way. The important thing, I think, is post anything major like this is you need to have a reflection period, learn from it, and apply those lessons going forward. So, I mean, in terms of the ICO, overall, we were very pleased with it. I mean, it did sell out within, less than 30 minutes. The last round was, 2 minutes. Yeah. We did have to make some changes on the fly, like you mentioned. So we had become aware that there might be people trying to run scripts or bots trying to get in. And we really wanted to make sure that this was really for the community members and not for people just trying to resell tokens or whatever. So halfway through, we just said, look, we're reducing the total amount in round 3 from 10,000 to 3,000. And so this had the effect of throwing off any people trying to run bots and scripts, but what it also did is allowed more people to participate. Yeah. Absolutely. So, overall, I think it was received very well. Unfortunately, some people may not have gotten the announcement on time, and so they were like, wait, what happened? Yeah. So look, everything is a series of trade-offs, right? There's always going to be pros and cons, but overall, very pleased with the outcome of the ICO. And of course, we, in my view, kept our foot on the gas pedal and listed on BitMax 5 days later. Yep. We just announced Binance DEX, which will be listing next Monday, the 27th it is. And in the background, substantively, there's been a lot of positive developments on Kuti Exchange, technologically speaking, on Unifier Wallet. So there's a lot going on. And of course, we launched social mining. Mm-hmm. Our challenge is sort of, conveying these positive developments to the community, keeping the excitement going after after the ICO was very hyped up. Sustaining that is a big, big challenge. We're obviously doing everything we can. And we're just working hard as we can every day, and we hope the community recognizes that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of funny because, I'm in the groups and I'm taking part in the social mining, and what I find kind of interesting is, the amount of negativity people bring sometimes to the group. Now, I'm not saying that that you guys are doing anything wrong, but it's really interesting. Like I watched, let's kind of go off track a little bit, but kind of something that's really relevant. I watched Kevin Hart on Joe Rogan's podcast not too long ago, and he was saying it's cool to be negative now. It's like it's really cool to be negative. Like someone's like, yeah, that project did something bad, and then everyone jumps on. They're like, yeah, screw that project. They're horrible. And it's like I'm sitting there and I'm the positive guy in the group. I'm like, guys, chill out, man. It's been like a week. It's been a week, and yeah, the price didn't go to 10x, but guess what? This is a real company. Real companies don't do that. And guess what? You remember the ICXs and the one chains? What happened to those companies that just pumped all their money into market making? What are they worth now? So, trying to keep people positive and be that positive role model myself. But there's a couple of us obviously in there, but people like that gang mentality, and they worry so much about token price, and they forget, what are you guys really doing? What is the Unifier Wallet? Most of these people, I remember talking to you and being like, there's people that literally how do I buy this ICO? Or they're like, I got scammed and stuff during the ICO. I remember that was a issue. And I was sitting there going like, how in the hell, if you read anything, did that happen? And they didn't. And it's like, they want to blame you guys. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, like, it's 2019. If you don't know this stuff by now, like, I can't feel sorry for you personally anymore. You should just read 5 minutes of information and you would have known that you should do it A instead of B. So I just thought that was like, kind of all ties in a little bit with, you know, the stuff that you've been doing, my own reflections as well from just watching what's been going on, and then seeing, you know, the community, social mining, and how much positive stuff is actually coming from the real people that believe in the project versus the moon boys. And, you know, that's nice. I'm sure like you kind of had like this overarching roller coaster ride of like you were on the high of the hype, and then like people just started being negative and you went down, and then you got the social mining and it feels like you're kind of coming back up on the next loop. That's good. And so I just wanted to kind of point that out myself, and how cool the gas wars was. That was just really fun. I mean, I remember I personally couldn't take part because I already had my allocation and I couldn't like get more because you wanted to let other people in. And I was totally cool with that. And it was just cool to see like people spending $100 in gas just to get $1,000 worth of tokens, which is super cool and interesting. It brought back a little bit of those cool feelings from 2017, which I really enjoyed. So now kind of shifting focus, the updates to come. You know, you guys are working on like the Unifier Wallet, some integrations with Liquidity Exchange, you know, your own exchange, all these other things that you know you're working on. Kind of like touch base on what is like the now what we're working on. We're gonna get this done in like the next couple months. You know, the later after, you know, we finish 2019, where are we working on in 2020, and then kind of like, well, maybe that's really far away anyways, but what are you working on in the short, medium, and long term, so people understand what, you know, what Ferrum is instead of just focusing on, you know, the price.
Thanks, Joel. Thank you for asking that and pointing those things out. I mean, you know, we've always wanted to keep the focus on the substance and the underlying value of Ferrum. And we're so fortunate to have guys like you in our community, many others who see the underlying value, are willing to be patient, support us with positivity. And those are the guys we want to satisfy. And the other people in the group are maybe more negative. Look, there's some people who are just glass half full or they're glass half empty. There's always that element to it. In terms of people that are overly focused on the price, and we're personally not overly focused on the day-to-day fluctuations of the price.
Yeah.
All we can do is focus on what's within our control.
Mm-hmm.
How do we overcome these challenges? And you know, how do we keep the focus on what's important?
Absolutely.
And so, you know, in terms of, I do want to just touch on the Post ICO listing experience, which I think overall has been, if you look at a lot of other projects, I think that's important to keep sight of, is, you know, hosting an ICO and listing on a top tier exchange less, you know, 5 days later, I think is an achievement in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're dealing with a market right now with 70% Bitcoin dominance. I mean, there's a lot of headwinds. So, you know, there's larger factors going on here as well. But we recognize that what the situation is now is not satisfactory, and we immediately began and even had laid the groundwork prior to solve these problems. I mean, that's really all, you know, that's what a startup does, right? Problems arise and we solve them. And that's all I do every single day. And so, you know, taking this example is, you know, we look at the situation with the primary listing. That was, we were never just going to, you know, stay satisfied with that, with a single exchange. So we immediately look towards the future. And we are happy to report that 100% of the Binance validators voted to put us on Binance DEX. Not only that, we've now hired a team of highly skilled market makers, liquidity providers for our subsequent exchange listings, guys who used to market make for Ripple. I've known them for almost a year now. They're based out of New York City. We're very close with them, and they do excellent work at a very reasonable value to us. So, you know, we recognize the issues. We're solving the issues. But yeah, we can't cater to every person who's just all they care about is price and don't even understand the underlying value of Ferrum. We don't want those people in our community to begin with, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. So,
yeah, just wanted to touch on that. But in terms of your question about, you know, what's coming up in more detail, yeah. I'm personally extremely excited about what I'm hearing and partaking in out of the Kuti side of things. You know, people sometimes forget that we already have a live product. Yep. In a high growth region of Africa. That's basically Coinbase. You can think of it like Coinbase plus Venmo. Mm-hmm. And there has been extraordinary progress on the ground in Lagos, Nigeria, where the team is based. And for instance, there's been now a great focus on signing up merchants for the point of sale system that's built into the app. And I believe we're up to nearly 50 merchants now signed up in the Lagos area. We've been hosting events on a regular basis, basically every week, bringing more people, exposing them to Kuti. And I mean, the reality is that, you know, building a business takes time, effort, money. And sometimes there's a lag on the price between, you know, when you're looking at the substance and compared to the price. But I firmly believe that if we continue to add value to the ecosystem with Kuti, with our other products, of course, tying it to the Ferrum token itself, within a reasonable amount of time, you're going to see everything come together. And so we just ask people to exercise some patience, continue to support where they can, like with social mining. Mm-hmm. And if we work together, great things will happen. I mean, we've been through a lot worse than this. We're actually in a great place compared to where we were 6 months ago, a year and a half ago. Yeah. So, you know, I'm personally extremely bullish. Although I understand why not everybody might be, but we're out here, we're working hard, and we're trying to prove to everybody that Ferrum's the real deal.
Absolutely. So maybe you could go and touch in on a little bit about like Unifier Wallet, when that might be ready for people to start beta testing, because I know that's something that you're working on having in the more shorter term, correct?
Yeah, so I just touched on Kuti, so bringing it to Unifier, which is basically a non-custodial multi-currency wallet with advanced security features and things like OTC trades without middlemen, and something I'm extremely excited about, which is staking of any token. This app will be available within the next few months. We're going to start beta testing, I think. I hate to, one of the lessons we learned from the ICO and just communicating with the community in general is you need to stay away from concrete promises, or else people say, oh, a day late, off with his head. And development always takes longer than you expect. So beta testing will begin shortly. I hope that yourself and other high value members of the community are willing to help perfect that product for us. And the one thing that we're really excited about, Naeem's been working very hard on this, and it's pretty much complete, is our staking mechanism for the Unifier Wallet. So, like I said, Unifier Wallet, once it's migrated over to mainnet, we'll be able to stake any token. For now, it's going to be staking of a Ferrum token itself. And we have 5% of tokens allocated for staking rewards. And so this, Naeem's been working very hard, and he built a staking mechanism from the ground up that is quite unique and can sort of incentivize people to hold in a community-driven way that I think is really exciting. We'll be able to release those details in the next few weeks.
Nice.
And of course, the beta testing will begin, and then once beta testing is complete, we launch version 1. And I think, then you're going to start to see people say, you know what, two products within a 6-month time span an ICO that I think was run very well in an era of IEOs, which was a big risk in and of itself, listing on top exchanges. And if you look at the market cap of Ferrum Network, I still believe the upside is really high. If you're going to be, if you're that kind of person that's looking at those things, it's still a $1.12 million hard cap, right? So, you know, to me, again, I'm super bullish on Ferrum, but I'm in the trenches every day and I see what's going on. So, you know, again, it's my job to communicate this to people. We have to work harder on that. We have to be better at that. Yeah, I think the future is very bright overall.
Yeah, you know, it's really funny because like some people at the Futurist conference in Toronto, I'm from Toronto, and they were like, man, we kept talking to fund managers and they're like, they're bullish on alts and like the alts are going to die and all this stuff. And I was like, listen, the best time to be bullish on something is when it's down, you know, when it's down in this luck. Not saying you should get bullish on all the alts, but if you look at alts that have products or alts that are making real partnerships, not partnerships like, yeah, we're partnering with another alt that doesn't really add value to our network. But I have 3 companies I know directly right now that I'm under NDA, and I can't even tell you what it is, but 3 of them are connected with, you know, Fortune 500 companies, and they're holding all this information in, because why would you pump and dump your own price? So there's probably so many alts out there that, and even you guys, there's probably stuff you're holding back and not telling everybody yet about, because why would you? You know, why would you tell people about your best cards when the market's kind of saying we want Bitcoin, we don't want other stuff? So good, let them have Bitcoin, build and develop and make real partnerships and bring real value and make a company that's valuable and has revenue. And then sure, yeah, when people start using it because they see, wow, this company actually is doing stuff. If they're worried about price, because I can say this, you can't, but if they're worried about price, that's when it's going to go up. And like, look at any other company valuation. Like, this is just for people listening. Look at company valuations. How do you value them? Based off revenue. So, you know, you could be a product or you could be a company out there that promises the world and has a great idea, but ideas are worth this because they're just ideas. You know, you got a company like Ferrum already has a product and has another product almost ready that's already in development. You probably, if you really wanted to, could see it. Ian could probably show you, right? So this is what you should be looking at, just as in general. When you're looking at an ICO company or a company that has a token, this is what I'm looking at. This is why I haven't made bad decisions, right? And this is why I back Ferrum, because I see them doing something that's real. And I know, Ian, you actually care to actually provide value to people, which is important. And so this is why you have to look at, you know, who's involved and what are they doing. So this is just for you guys out there that are like, oh man, what's going on with the price? Look at those things. Start reading a little bit more. You know, don't just look at the price, but why would the price go up if you want to do that? And I think that's super valuable for people to really look at. So next question would be, Ian, in the long term, like, you know, when you guys are like looking like 3 or 4 years down the road, where do you guys see yourselves? You know, it's one of those like interview questions, but like, you know, where do you guys see yourselves? What kinds of products do you see? And like, how do you see people using them? You know, in a perfect world, what would Ferrum look like in a few years down the road once you guys have all your products pretty much finished and being developed even more?
It's a great question. So, you know, we're a part of a larger market, and then the cryptocurrency market is part of a larger, you know, financial system.
Yeah.
And, you know, from my personal and professional standpoint, we really want to see widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies for everyday purposes. Yeah. I don't think we'll, as an industry, we can't say we've been successful until we can actually meaningfully compete with the legacy financial system that really only benefits the minority of people at the top. If we're not doing that, and if that's not our ultimate goal every day, then we shouldn't be in this business. We're just speculators at that point, and go back to the casino as far as I'm concerned. So Ferrum is doing, or at least attempting to do, its small part in that by focusing on those regions of the world that we think can really benefit from cryptocurrencies, like Nigeria, where we're the only exchange offering a US dollar-backed stablecoin to our users there. and if you look at the Ferrum ecosystem, and of course, in 3 or 4 years, all the products will have been launched. We'll have many fiat gateways around the world where people can then, start accessing the world of crypto. Non-custodial wallets where they can control their own money, a decentralized exchange where they can enter into trades with people without, fear of Big Brother looking over their shoulder. There's a lot of positive things I think that we can do as a company to bring the whole ecosystem forward. But yeah, my vision is to just, another influencer put it really well. I think it's being a one-stop shop for crypto.
Yeah.
Where you can buy and sell, you can trade, you can hold, you can store your assets all in a seamless ecosystem. And that ecosystem being available to millions of people in all different regions of the world. So for instance, you just talked about things that are, under NDA and stuff like that. I can't go into details on everything, but I can tell you that right now we're deeply exploring entering the Middle East with a Kudi exchange-like product.
Nice.
So it'll be a fiat gateway for those in the Middle East, which is an underserved region for crypto, and I think really could use an alternative to the existing system, which is very centralized, to say the least. We're also launching a Chinese version of Unifier Wallet, and we'll launch a Chinese version of our other products. So I mean, we're looking at Southeast Asia to enter there with a fiat gateway in partnership with another major project. So there's a lot going on in the near term to advance this vision. But yeah, I think if we all need to be looking, we all need to keep our eyes on the prize and the reasons. I think you're in there. I think you're in there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, you just went super robotic for a second, and that was really funny. I got what you were saying, but the last part you said was like, it was pretty crazy. Maybe you could just finish that last sentence because I couldn't follow the ending of that.
I was just saying how I think that if you as a project or an investor or anyone in the ecosystem, frankly, if you're not here to advance the vision of decentralizing and democratizing finance, then I'm not sure this is the right field for you, right? We have enough speculators. Let's keep our eyes on the prize and focus on what's important. That's helping people with this technology.
Yeah, and I think you're touching in Africa and you're touching on areas of the world where either they're banking the unbanked, or not just banking unbanked, or you're giving people that may not have access to crypto very easily access to crypto a little bit easier. So that's something interesting as well. So before we go, I just want to touch on how you think social mining has been going. What ways people can get more involved in social mining. What do they need to do? And maybe something like what would get you the top scores? I got #2 out of all the Ferrum rewards this week because I was posting stuff and upvoting people and trying to be positive. The downvotes are there, guys, but they're only for what you would typically call shit posting. So I mean, they're there for someone who's oh, I'm gonna make a stupid meme that really doesn't have any value to Ferrum. Yeah, you can download that. But for people trying, give them some upvotes, even if it's not a lot. Keep that positive momentum. And then for me personally, it's doing interviews like this, writing some content, telling people more about what's actually happening with Ferrum, maybe even finding connections that Ferrum could be doing, add value to the project. If you are someone who does care about the price of the token, maybe you could do things I know this person at this project and they're doing something similar and maybe we can connect them. That's adding value. So think about how you can add value instead of sitting there and bitching and whining all the time, because it doesn't actually add anything. It just makes other people negative, and then it ends up being a really poisonous place. And I mean, there's enough of that in crypto already, as we can probably all admit that. So let's focus on the positives and try to push each other forward instead of being those people that are always holding you back. That's my opinion about it. But yeah, in terms of social mining, Ian, what do you expect, or what, maybe you don't have an expectation, but what would you like to see in terms of that, in terms of the growth and things along those lines?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head in so many respects when it comes to social mining. So I want to provide a little context for those who don't know. Social mining is a platform we launched in partnership with our friends at DAOmaker. These guys have developed what I think is probably the most advanced and valuable marketing tool in all of crypto, frankly, because what it does is it basically allows true supporters of a project. I'm not talking about people who are just looking for a bounty token to flip it based on a shit post, like you're saying. I'm talking about real supporters, real investors, an opportunity to contribute to the project, contribute to its value, and then be rewarded for it.
Absolutely.
And so basically how it works is, say you as a supporter have you have an idea for how you can help Ferrum. Whether that's maybe writing an article explaining what the Unifier Wallet is, or maybe it's about Kudi Exchange, or maybe it's about the token metrics, or whatever it is, and you want to express that in some way. Well, now you have a platform to go to where you can publish this article, whether on Reddit, Twitter, elsewhere, and you can actually be rewarded for it. So very happy to report that we did our first distribution yesterday. After 1 week of social mining, we distributed about 70,000 Ferrum tokens to, I think it was around 60 holders. And I think everyone was very pleased with that. So the growth has been fantastic, I think, overall. We have almost 400 people now signed up for the platform. It's only been a week. Yeah. We need to get, we need to increase the holders. I don't know if everyone has understood or gotten the message that this isn't really a bounty, where it's not, you don't do a tweet and get a token. It's you're an investor, you're a supporter. That means you hold the token. That's a critical factor in being a supporter, is actually holding the token. So part of what goes into the calculus of how many tokens you get at each distribution is your value-added content as judged by the community. I mean, that's a critical factor. Absolutely. Second factor is how many tokens you hold and for how long, right? Because the idea isn't just to bring in some tokens into your designated wallet for a day and then send it back to the exchange and sell them. No. It's you're holding Ferrum because you believe in the long term, you see the vision, you see what's coming down the pipeline, and you know we're going to execute, so you want to hold. Yeah. And the platform rewards those kind of investors and those kind of supporters. And to me, it's worked great so far, honestly. And it's just going to improve as we sort of train. We have to train people not to do the basic posts of just, hey, so we see a lot of on Twitter, like hashtag Ferrum Network. Like that's the extent of the post, because I mean, technically the rules are, your tweet has to hashtag Ferrum. So yeah, I guess you satisfy the rules, but you haven't added any value. And people need to stop thinking about, okay, what can I do to get points? If you get in the mindset of what can I do to add value to Ferrum, which will ultimately increase the value of your own investment, that's what's going to be rewarded. So, look, not everyone has the capability, not everyone has a platform like you, Joel, where you can, just get the co-founder on the line. But I mean, everyone can do something. Everyone has a special skill or ability, whether it's writing an article, whether it's creating an infographic, whether it is an in-depth tweet, whatever it is. It just has to focus on the underlying value of Ferrum. It should be detailed. It really should express what we're all about. And if you do those things, you'll be rewarded. And the rewards are coming in. I mean, distribution came yesterday. They're going to keep coming. We've allocated a bunch of tokens for this. So, don't sleep on it. Hop on the bandwagon, add value, be rewarded. It's really simple.
It's also funny, if you're a writer on Medium right now and you already are part of the Medium programs where you get paid for Medium, now you can even get paid. Technically, you're getting paid again because you're getting paid in tokens as well. So it's like you double down almost, honestly. Like that's how I look at it. It's like if I write an article or post something on Medium now and I'm getting paid for writing that article, what's the harm in actually that's adding value to the ecosystem? So I repost that onto Ferrum Network's community board. And everyone's like, whoa, this is a great article, and boom, you're going to get points. You're going to get upvotes. You're going to have more upvotes for yourself to be able to upvote other people. The idea is to build a community, which, most projects tremendously lack. They have people come in, they want a moon, they get their 4x, and then they're gone. And then like the community dies, and a lot of time the project continues on, but there's no one even talking about it, even the good projects. So this is a really cool way to like keep people involved. It also gets people to know what's going on. So like if you're in this and you're involved, you know, 5,000 tokens, if you're thinking, well, that's a lot. I mean, right now, it's at in my opinion, it's at a discount, right? You pay $50, you get $50, $60 of tokens, you put them on the network. If that's all you can afford, that's great. Get a little bit, put it on there, start providing value, and you might get, you know, 500 or 1,000 tokens every week almost, or every 2 weeks. So why not? And that's a great way if you know you don't have a lot of cash flow to do it. And so I think it's a great opportunity for people, and it avoids all these 2017 airdrop campaign bot people that like came in and just took a bunch of free tokens and dumped them on the company. Now you have some real value being added, and I think the more people do this, the better off they're going to be in terms they can build their own status up too. Like if you want to, you know, be more involved in the space, I always tell people who ask me, what do we got to do? I'm like, just do something. You know, start making a video. It doesn't matter if you're 4 YouTubers. If 4 people on YouTube watch you. Just start somewhere. You have to start. I started from nothing too. You just start, write articles, take part in the ecosystem. It doesn't mean you just have to do it for Ferrum. We want you to do it for Ferrum. It gives you the ability to get involved in the industry. So if you've ever been sitting there going like, I don't know what to do to get started, I really love this industry, this is what you should be doing. Yeah.
That's a great point. I hadn't even thought of it like that. I think you're so right. Anyone who's passionate about crypto, I promise you, you have a value added skill. Yeah. So whether it's Ferrum, whether it's something else, whether it's your own thing, get out there, follow what you're passionate about, and I guarantee you're going to be infinitely happier than whatever you're doing before. I can speak from personal experience, right? I don't have artistic skills. I don't have videography skills like you, Joel. I was a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I was passionate about crypto. So I co-founded the blockchain practice team. It led to me meeting Naeem, and it led to us founding Ferrum, and here I am today. So, I mean, you know, everyone has something to add. Follow your passion, follow your dreams, and I guarantee you good things will come of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I was a teacher. I was working in a school. Like, I always loved teaching people, but I realized teaching crypto can also be a lot of benefits. And, you know, taking the skills of working with all these kids and all these other adults, I take it to crypto, and maybe I can do some things a little bit more coherent than some of the guys who really aren't really great speakers in the industry because they're really techie. And then, you know, give some other people some new skills. Let them do what they're good at. Let me do what I'm good at. Find out what you're good at, you know. And you know, even though this is kind of off topic of what Ferrum is about, like directly, this is stuff that, you know, it should encourage you to push yourself into this industry if you want to get involved. And social mining is a really good way to start. And you know, you get people's eyes on you. 400 people will look and see those posts. And if they get upvoted a lot, you'll be like, wow, I'm doing something good. And maybe you'll start enjoying it. Even if you don't get paid a lot of money, it's not about that at the start. I didn't get paid for like a year and a half in this industry. I did everything for free. So, you know, just get involved and then opportunities come. So I guess that's pretty much it. We know that the Unifier Wallet's coming. We know that the roadmap has a lot of different pieces in the puzzle. Now we hear that there might be something going on in the Middle East. There's banking the unbanked. There's decentralized exchange. There's OTC. They got a lot of things and working parts going for them. Kuti exchange as well. You know, the ICO went very successfully. The hype train got up. People bitched and whined. Now people are starting to come back up a bit, which is good. And there's a lot of things like new market makers and, you know, things that are coming into play that are definitely going to help Ferrum in the long term. So stay positive about the project. Lots of good things will be coming. And, you know, if you see this on the Ferrum social mining site, you can throw up some upvotes too.
Well, exactly. Well, thank you so much for having me, Joel. I can't wait to do this again. And you said it best. There's a lot coming up, so stay tuned. And, you know, if anyone ever has any questions, you know where to find me. I'm always available. So drop me a line and you know, let's keep this thing rolling.
Absolutely. So we'll do this again, guys, maybe in a month or two. Once the Unifier Wallet's out, we'll do definitely, once I do the beta test, I'll come on and give Ian my very honest review of it. Maybe it'll be good, maybe bad. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, we'll do something like that in maybe like a month or two, and then in the meantime, guys, don't forget, T.me, Ferrum Network, get on their page, go provide some value, go to community.ferrum.network online, get involved there. And even if you don't have Ferrum and you don't have money for Ferrum, that's okay. Just get involved. Maybe there'll be some people in the community that really value, and we'll throw you a little Ferrum just as a little nice kick. So just try to get involved, all right? Thank you very much, Ian. Always a pleasure to have you. And thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget, if you like this video, to subscribe, like, and share. And sharing is caring, especially with Ferrum, social mining. Get it done. Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah.